Power Rankings with the ESPN Radio Rankem series. You know greatness is on deck. Before we get to it, this is Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. She is the First Lady of Unsportsmanlike, Michelle Smallman. How are we doing?
I'm doing well, Cece. Thank you.
He is the Ocho, Evan Cohen, fresh off of the ECHC3. How are you doing?
Great.
All right, and I am the resident Super Bowl champ. And of course, Tuesdays at 6:30 on Unsportsmanlike, we like to rank stuff.
Sure do.
So these are the Canty Power Rankings. We've got the top 5 NFL offenses heading into 2026. And my power rankings are brought to you today by SoFi. Get your money right. So, not a lot of pomp and circumstance. We got to get to it because there's a lot to digest with the list. Pat Costello, if you will.
Number 5.
The New England Patriots. They led the league in explosive plays last season, plays of 20 yards or more. The deficiencies when it came to top-line pass catchers became obvious during the playoffs when Drake May struggled completing passes down the field outside of the numbers. To solve for that problem, they traded for Arthur Warren Brown for the Philadelphia Eagles and signed Romeo Doubs in free agency away from the Green Bay Packers. They also addressed the offensive line by signing Elijah Vera Tucker in free agency, as well as drafting Caleb Lomu in the first round to be the right tackle in waiting behind Morgan Moses. So the New England Patriots checking in at 5 on my top 5 NFL offenses coming into 2026.
I mean, obviously a top 2 MVP in Drake May last year at the quarterback position. 2 guys that are starting running backs, who Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. 5 guys led by A.J. Brown, as you just mentioned, that could literally be starters at the wide receiver position. Tight end depth, I'm a little concerned about. Offensive line, they definitely addressed. As you mentioned, I think that you are on it with the Patriots, and most of all, the single best offensive coordinator in the NFL, in Josh McDaniels.
No question about it. Next.
Number 4.
The Baltimore Ravens. Every year Lamar gets a new OC, he wins MVP. 2019, it was Greg Roman, won an MVP. 2023 with Todd Monken, won an MVP. Can Declan Doyle keep the trend going? Now, adding to the OL by drafting Vega Ioane out of Penn State and signing John Simpson from the Jets is always a plus. Also considering Derrick Henry, 1,600 yards rushing last year, 5.2 yards per carry. And then, oh, by the way, we got Zay Flowers, who's a 1,200-yard receiver. And even despite missing a month of the season, Lamar Jackson still showed the excellence that we expect from a future Hall of Famer. The Baltimore Ravens checking in at 4 on my top 5 NFL offenses going into next year.
I love that the Ravens are on this list, Cece, not only because they're returning with a healthy Lamar Jackson, but I'm so interested to see what Declan Doyle is going to do with this offense. When we look at the strides that Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense took last year, we assigned it to Ben Johnson. Declan Doyle, obviously the OC there. Interested to see what he does with this Ravens personnel. And also, let's not forget, he's the one that publicly said, we need everybody at every voluntary workout, which Lamar Jackson historically had not done. But guess who was there? Lamar Jackson. So he's been bought in on his new head coach and his new OC from the beginning. So that connectivity, that rhythm that offense, this new offense is going to need to develop has gotten off to an early start.
Next.
Number 3.
We have the Detroit Lions. Javante, stand up. Detroit was one of only 2 teams that had a 4,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, and 2 1,000-yard receivers last season. The run game took a hit last year with the retirement of All-Pro center Frank Ragnow. The Lions addressed that by signing Cade Mays in free agency from the Carolina Panthers and traded for Juice Shrugs from the Houston Texans to stabilize the interior of that unit of that offense. They had to improve it because of when they're at their best. When they went to the NFC Championship game in 2023, the offensive line was the identity. And oh, by the way, they doubled down on that by drafting offensive tackle Blake Miller in the first round out of Clemson. Now, 3 offensive coordinators over the last 3 years is concerning, but the talent on the roster and the experience of a head coach quarterback tandem are undeniable.
Yeah, if you look at what they have on the offensive side of the ball, Drew Petzing is the new offensive coordinator coming over from Arizona. They also got a guy that I have liked a lot over the course of time, and I feel like he's going to be great in a Dan Campbell offense, assuming he makes the team, because he's also the kind of guy that I could see them cutting randomly. Isaiah Pacheco. Coming over from Kansas City, runs so hard. Dan Campbell, if this guy is healthy, will fall in love with him. If he's not already, because he just runs like he's trying to beat the crap out of someone else. Of your first 3, this is the one, though, that I have the most questions about.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because I think that here's why, and I think it's a fair critique, or fair question, excuse me, not critique. It's a fair question. Was this offense awesome, or was this offense awesome because of Ben Johnson? This is the year. This is the year. Was this offense just awesome in general, or were they awesome because of Ben Johnson? This year we find out.
Wow.
The numbers were better for that Lions offense last season than you would think based on their overall record.
Do you have a problem with the question I asked, though?
No.
Even though you're countering it to some extent.
I don't, but I think based on the fact that they took a step back last year from an overall wins-loss perspective, we lose sight of the fact that the offense was pretty productive last year.
Next.
Number 2.
If you had a problem with number 3, you're definitely going to have a problem with number 2.
Oh, no.
We got a team in LA in there. And it's not the team with the reigning MVP. We're going with the LA Chargers. I'm acknowledging this is more projection than reality at this point.
Okay.
But adding Mike McDaniel, who I thought was one of the most impactful offseason additions, player or coach, that any franchise had, is going to be huge for Justin Herbert. We always talk about how this guy was built in the lab. Well, now he's got a quarterback he's got a coordinator and a play caller that knows exactly how to utilize all of his physical attributes, the raw horsepower that he has, that he possesses. Now, when you consider what Mike McDaniels has done over the last 5 years, 3 of those seasons, he's had a top 7 total offense, including having the number 1 ranked offense in 2023. And that was with Tua, who is now a cast-off quarterback from the Miami Dolphins. Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa are not in the same category. Couple that with the fact that you have Ladd McConkey coming back healthy. You got Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt both coming back healthy. One of arguably the best tackle tandems in the entire NFL. And with the hopes of having former first-round draft pick Omarion Hampton play the entirety of this season, the Los Angeles Chargers have the makings of a unit that could be the number 1 offense in the National Football League. They're checking in at number 2 on my top 5 NFL offenses going into 2026.
So then when I did my list of top 5 breakout players and I had Justin Herbert number 1, everything you're saying, if he doesn't break out, if we don't see Justin Herbert winning a division, winning playoff games, finishing top 5 or even top 3 in MVP voting, we're going to have him wear that in a different way because of everything that he has at his disposal now.
Justin Herbert was sacked 54 times last year.
He was. He
still managed 3,700 yards passing and 26 touchdowns.
I'll just tell you, we react to the hype from other people about the Bengals and the Cowboys. We have not overhyped either of those 2 teams, in my opinion. Based on the hype on this show, there is no team that is set up for a bigger failure this year than the LA Chargers. Based on unsportsmanlike hype. Michelle, number 1 on the what was it?
Breakout,
like you just said with Herbert. CC, number 2 offenses overall with the Chargers. There is no team set up based on hype, specifically on this show, for a bigger letdown than the Chargers.
Can I ask you this question?
Sure.
When has Jim Harbaugh failed to that degree?
Hasn't.
With that type of hype?
I'm not arguing
when has he failed?
And
I got to the Chargers, and all they've done is won 11 games each of the first 2 years. So when we're projecting what they're going to be, there's a baseline, there's a floor of double-digit wins. And then we're injecting one of the most creative offensive minds that the sport has seen over the last decade.
Tough division, though.
Tough division, but it was a tough division last year.
And they still won double-digit games.
And they still won 11 games.
Yeah. But I think the offense could be incredibly productive